what we're doing here? Speak to that, Ms. Byers.
Yes, we're all here to do God's work. I mean, but Pastor Stevenson opens up the door for us to use our gifts. And whatever it is that we need to do, that we want to do, we go to him and he just let us do it freely. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm glad that he took the stand to do that, because in other Primitive Baptist churches, they weren't going to do it. But he was the one man who said, you know what? I'm going to go by the word of God. I'm going to stand on what God said. And I'm going to allow for the women to not be silenced no more in the church. I'm going to allow for them to have a voice, to do what God has definitely called them to do. And he has definitely done that. As Tasha said, he has, you know, he's training us. He's having us to do everything we need to do. So therefore, when he sends us forth, we will be good and ready to go as ministers, especially women ministers in the Primitive Baptist Church.
And this young man, Mr. Stevenson,
Yes,
Reverend
sir.
Stevenson,
Yes, sir.
has done such a great job in terms of bringing women into the ministry of the Primitive Baptist Church. But he's also done it against quite a bit of controversy, I would imagine, because it seems that what Ms. Vincent has already said in reference to the participation of women and et cetera, as well as you, Ms. Byers, it means that something has happened in reference to that. What kind of controversy and what kind of opposition have you had, Reverend, in terms of what you're trying to do?
So, Dr. Haney, it has really been tough. I must be honest. This has probably been one of the hardest things I've had to do relative to isolation, being isolated from the other ministers and the others who have, you know, decided that the action I took was so egregious that they didn't want to fellowship or be a part or connected with me. First thing that happened was my credentials were suspended in the Primitive Baptist faith, which did not give me right to be a pastor or leader in Cumberland Association. So they voted basically to kick me out of that association.
It was that much animosity toward what you were doing.
Yeah, they made that vote. Then secondly, I was removed as the vice president of the state convention. And thirdly, our church had to make the decision to withdraw totally from the Cumberland Association. So it's been a really tough road. I mean, I went to the national convention, and some of the guys who I was great friends with, I mean, you would have thought I had leprosy. I mean, they were avoiding me, you know, because they were angry and upset, simply because we wanted to allow all of the hands. The community we pastor in has one of the highest rates of crime, of poverty. I mean, we're trying to move the needle on strongholds, and I need every anointed hand I can get, and I don't care if it's manicured, polished or not. It doesn't matter to me. I just need those who are willing to get their hands dirty and go to work. And quite frankly, I didn't care about the criticism. I just want to get the work done with the individuals that God had placed. And we now have 20 female ministers, including my wife, Lakita Stevenson. We have 20. They are hardworking. They're energetic. They are excited. They're being trained. They're being taught. They're leading. They're working for God. And this was one of those things that I believe I did right and was willing to fall on the sword and take whatever criticism came with that, so that we can have a spirit of liberty in the church.
Was the Primitive Baptist Church, Reverend, the only Baptist church that opposed female ministers? It's not. Is that the only Baptist church, only denomination within the Baptist?
Well, Primitive Baptist has it as a rule in our denomination. Other Baptist denominations have a history where some don't allow it, but it's not in their rules per se. So this battle was fought in Missionary Baptist 20 years ago. And so it hadn't destroyed them. They have very capable women leading and preaching and teaching. And so it just was a conversation that we needed to deal with. And it's uncomfortable right now, but I believe all in all, we'll be better for it.
And so far, you've already ordained some 20 plus women within the Primitive Baptist Church.
Well, now there's a difference. We license them. We license 17 so far.
But they all have the ability to come out front and go to the pulpit.
They have the ability to preach, to teach, and to do what God has assigned them to do under covering. And we're very proud of that. Very proud of that. These are two examples of qualified women who love the Lord, who simply want to do good work.
And I want to thank the three of you during the last half minute that we have here for bringing by that excellent information in reference to women in the Primitive Baptist Church. I know because that has been a real controversy in many churches. And so let me thank the three of you for coming by, and let me encourage our audience to tune in again next